Well, welcome to this year's school budget review meeting. Couple of orders of business. If you're online or if you're in the audience and you're not a voting member, you're free to ask questions of myself or the presenters for tonight's presentation. Before we get into business, I would like us all to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance to our little tiny flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first orders of business are to elect the following officers to serve for a term of 1 year: a moderator, a clerk, and a treasurer. Do I have a motion for a moderator?
I move to elect Tom Spangenberg as moderator.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. For clerk,
Elizabeth McKay. Elizabeth McKay.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And the treasurer.
Is it still Dawn? Okay. I make a motion to nominate Don Custis?
Custer.
Custer.
Second.
Any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay. Article 2, to hear and act upon the reports of the school district officers. I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
To approve the annual salaries for the school directors and other elected officers of the school district. And the amounts are, board chair is
I have no idea.
$1,500, and the other members,
12.
$1,200. A motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Article 4, shall the voters of the school district authorize the Board of School Directors, that's you guys, to borrow money by issuance of bonds or notes in excess of anticipated revenues for the next fiscal year? Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And to have the Board of Directors of the school district present the proposed budget for the ensuing year. And that's Julie
Correct.
and Glenn?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Can everybody hear it? Okay. All right. So we are going, you all right? Oh, you want to see? Okay. We're going to start off with our successes and highlights. As we all know, education conversation in this state right now is very hot topic and very challenging and a tad all over the place. So to refocus ourselves and look at our successes and highlights, we are really pleased with the academic growth of our students this year. Strong gains in literacy and math, several grades outperforming county and state averages, improved school culture, school climate, strengthened climate, belonging and positive behavior, systems across all buildings, high staff retention. This is really important. I don't know if people realize the amount of people going to college for education has dramatically reduced in the past 10, 15 years, dramatically. So keeping our staff is very important to maintaining consistency for not only students, but for the community. So we're really pleased with our staff retention. Was it last year was in the 70s or the year before?
The last 2 years has been 92%, before that we were 70%.
In the 78%. So we've been really pleased that we've been maintaining that. Stronger student supports, increased academic interventions, mental health partnerships, multi-tiered systems of support, and improvements to boost student success, which is contributing to academic growth. I'm just going to say my personal, like I read a lot about the Mississippi factor that's going on with the, right? One of the things that is a big part of what they do is academic interventions, consistent academic interventions. So again, it's something that we do as well, and we can see the results. Strategic plan process, clear movement on all 4 goals of our strategic plan. Another one with VTSU Castleton in our backyard and CCV in our backyard and community support is our expanded career pathways, new partnerships, hands-on learning opportunities to prepare students for college, career, and technical fields. We have a high percentage of students enrolled in career and technical education, as well as students that attend early college and take dual enrollment classes at our local universities and colleges, which is amazing. Really pleased with our students who are capable of taking classes and working for credit in the community, which is really important for both them and our community. National recognition. Slate Valley's Medicaid work was highlighted as a model at a national policy symposium. If anybody has specific questions on that, I'm happy to hand it to the person who knows the answer to that. I know Medicaid makes it sound like insurance, but it's more than that, the Medicaid work. So if anybody has questions, please ask, and I'm happy to hand it to somebody who can explain. Enhanced communication. Families experience more consistent, transparent, and timely communication district-wide. Not only communication about what's going on, but fun stuff like alumni, and there's like history of like past pictures from yearbooks and fun things like that. So just a lot of communication out there. Safer, improved facilities, continue to upgrade school safety, transportation, and infrastructure within our budget, which is really important. We have not asked for a bond. We are doing this all within our current budget. And district-wide resilience. Staff, student, families demonstrate adaptability and collective commitment during a challenging time in public education in Vermont. Any questions about successes? All right. It's kind of an overview. Our total students enrolled, our 5 schools, and our 6 towns. You can kind of see that we are following the trend of the rest of the state. We're not unique in that we continue to lose students. And we just continue to work with what we have. And that's where we're at. I don't know if anybody has any questions about that, but I know that this is not new knowledge if you've been paying attention to the news. So within that population, we continue to have students with greater needs. You can see our poverty has remained pretty consistent, even with the loss of students. And percentage of students with special needs, the statewide average is 18%. So we're below the statewide average with that. We also have some additional challenges. There's always the potential right now of loss of federal funding. Although what was passed at the end of January passed all our funds, because we're forward funded as school districts, passed all the funds that we're supposed to get, we haven't gotten them yet. So until we get them, there always seems to be some nervousness out there about that. Increased need for resources to support students dealing with trauma, and shortage of qualified teachers and staff. As I said, there's just not enough to go around right now. All right, here's the kind of landscape. Things that increase pressure on our budget, increased health insurance, which has also been in the news. Other payroll-related costs, such as wages, municipal retirement, workers' comp, and child care tax. Increase in inflation, which affects us as well. Increase need for professional development for inexperienced teachers. And unfunded mandates passed by our state and federal legislature. Factors that decrease it is we have a significant decrease in staffing. So one thing that we do when we build our budget, we start from 0 and build up. We don't start from last year and add on. That's not how it works. So when we do that, that means we relook at everything that's going on within our school district. Classes that are offered, number of students in classes, and we're able to then turn around and be able to save money that way. Unfunded mandates. I don't know if there's 2 or 3 slides of them, but these are things that schools are required to do with no extra money. Yep.
BBC testing.
No, it's actually in the legislature right now to get rid of it, right? To stop doing like the testing, right?
Until,
Yes, to stop doing the testing until the state funds it. We are some of the last school districts in the state that were on the schedule to be tested. We're supposed to test by July of 2027, but right now there's no funds to do that. So if we were to go ahead and test, it would be entirely out of our school budget, and so would their remediation. So I believe House Education just passed a bill today to repeal or put a pause on that testing. So we'll see what happens.
So no, we haven't, and sounds like we might not have to at this point. Okay, the budget reflects our goals through 2028, supports the recruitment, development, and retention of our educators, provides resources for valuable, relevant, engaging, and inclusive learning experiences, contributes to the mission of increasing measurable student learning and reducing achievement gaps, continues to address deferred maintenance and infrastructure needs in all 5 buildings of the district, continues to support flexible pathways such as early college, dual enrollment, work-based learning towards graduation. This is our timeline. It has not really changed year to year. August to November is when we just really start to gather information. November to January is when they start meeting and actually building that budget from the bottom up. And then January to March is when we present recommendations to the board and vote on the budget. All right, so here's what it looks like. Budget total, $32,509,789, up 2.8%. I think we're the lowest in the county. Yeah, so I thought, I've been reading them all because they all post them on their door when I go to their schools, and I read them all before I go in. So, and per student cost, $11,967.71. What is it this year? $11,298? Oh, it's on another slide. Okay, I was gonna say it's 11,565. Okay. So it went up, 3.4%, but that's around $400, it looks like, right? Is what it was from last year. Okay, all right. So spending increases were wages based on negotiated contracts. We had a 7.4% increase in health insurance, 12% increase in dental, increase in vocational tuition due to higher tuition costs and higher enrollment. That's to Stafford Tech and or Middlebury. Do we have anybody going out elsewhere?
right now, it's just Hannaford.
Okay.
And Stafford.
Okay.
Some years River Valley.
Okay, all right. So that's what the vocational tuition is. It's for Stafford and then for the Hannaford.
And I would also celebrate that this year we have 44 students in career and technical education, which is an all-time high
Yeah.
for this building.
Yep. And that's good because Stafford is competitive. People might not think it, but it's competitive to get into Stafford. They have to have grades, they have to have good behavior, they have to have good, they can't have like good behavior, they can't have absences. So Stafford really looks at that before they take students. So it's a competitive process with all the other, 6 high schools that are in our county that attend Stafford. So that's something definitely to celebrate. Yep. Continued investment in building and grounds. Things that we're able to decrease: reduction of 6 FTE in instructional assistants, reduction of 3 FTE in elementary teachers, including special areas, reduction of 2 FTE middle high school teachers, and reduction of 1.9 FTE in other supports positions. Any questions on this slide before I tap the forward? Okay. So our statewide comparison, that's last year's. There's the 11,565 versus the state average. It's really small, but the one right below us is Quarry Valley, which is Proctor, West Rutland, and Poultney. The one right above us is Rutland City, and then above that is Wellspring, which is Middletown Springs and Wells. And then it looks like you've got Otter Valley and Rutland Town sitting on top of each other, and Mill River right up there as well. Oh, Barstow is the one above the red. And then Addison Central and Addison Northwest. So Virgins and Middlebury. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay, drum roll. Preliminary tax rate estimates and costs for home site valued at $100,000. Reminder, I just reminded Castleton Town Meeting of this as well, that the actual numbers are not set till the end of the legislative season. So this is all our best guess, right?
I would also say this is worst case scenario because the governor is expected to buy down the tax rate again.
Yep.
And that is not taken into account. If he does do that, you will probably see a decrease in all 6 towns depending on
How much he
how
uses
much.
to buy
But
down.
if it's the 105,000, you would see a decrease in all the
Okay.
towns.
All right. All right, so there we go. Estimated change from last year, estimated change in homestead tax rate, and the estimated change in the value for a home site at $100,000. All right. And that, my friends, is it. Any questions? Oh, Casey, we got one there.
I know you wanted us to bring the questions up when you went to the slides, but
Yep.
just back at the budget overview slide for a second. When I talk to different people about, okay, the school budget, do you have any concerns or whatever, one of the things I hear quite a bit is the $1.8 million of surplus and trying to understand how that happens and how the budget keeps going up. I'm wondering if maybe, I didn't see the,
Yep.
maybe a few words around that would help.
Yep. I'll do my best, then I'll hand it to Cheryl if there's something I don't answer correctly or don't have the answer to. But so ending with a surplus is just due to, in my opinion, our conservative budgeting. We're a conservative budgeting district. So sometimes we budget with numbers that we think are our best conservative guess, and things are either less than we expect, some are more than we expect, right? And it comes out. This time, we're putting, I think, 900,000 towards a capital to be put into the capital improvement funds, and 900,000, what? 800 and $1 million. Okay, so 800 in our capital reserves and $1 million towards the budget to buy it down. Right? And we do that every year. We look at how much can we put away for a case of emergency, and then what do we need to buy down? So that's where the 1.8 million is going this year. So $1 million to buy down and 800,000 into the capital reserves. So that'll be a different article on your voting, right? 800,000 to capital reserves. The $1 million is built into the budget because it's the buy down. All right. So surplus is, I mean, you don't want to come out even as a school district, right? Like you need money to start.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the goal is not, Casey had that. I mean, the goal, I believe, is not to come out even. And how probable is that anyways, trying to budget a year in advance of things we don't know?
Right. I mean, one of the biggest contributing factors is for positions we are not able to fill that we budgeted for.
So staffing.
Is staff. That's where most of it comes from, because that's what most of our budget is comprised of, wages and benefits. So when we're not able to fill positions, that's probably the biggest contributor. I mean, the other thing is, we're doing the budget sometimes more than a year in advance of when the actual expenditures are going to occur. And so it's always that balancing act of trying to budget appropriately, not budget too much, not budget too little, with the information that we have at the time that we're building the budget. Everybody's trying to, budget for the funds that we believe we need in order to operate. So that's really where it comes from. You know, there can be student needs, can be another big contributor, are some very specific student needs based on where we are now, and we anticipate them for the future, and they don't materialize. And the same thing can happen to us going the other way. I mean, that's often the concern, is expenditures that happen in the year related to students that we didn't anticipate. So that's,
I know it's happened with us with fuel oil.
yeah.
A couple of years in a row, fuel oil we thought was going to be here and it ended up being here, and different things like that too.
I would also say if we didn't have that surplus, we'd be trying to make $1 million up in this budget. We'd be in big trouble if we didn't have cash to open every year, because we've gotten in that cycle. It's very hard to get out of that cycle, and it would be costly to get out of that
I
cycle.
worry about when we're, you know, we get tighter and tighter and we don't have that, but when we can't fill positions, that's where a lot of it
The
comes
biggest
from.
driver.
Yeah.
Do you still have a question, Mr. Stone? Okay.
This is a fun one. So how about school consolidation as a cost saver or whatever for future considerations? And does it have any impact this year, or is it still kind of in the murky
So-
waters of Montpelier?
Yeah, no impact this year. Will it save money, Tom? My bet is no. My bet is no. Unless there's something dramatic that, I mean, right now we're just like, some people have said, moving chairs around the Titanic. We're not really making a dent into what's going on. We'll see what happens with the funding formula, right? When they decide to, you know, change the funding formula. There's that whole cap thing going on right now where they're talking about potentially putting a cap on it. I mean, the talk is it's frustrating is what it is. It's frustrating to listen to, and it's frustrating to feel like it's really kind of going nowhere. So I honestly don't know. I mean, am I personally a fan of consolidation and what I see? Yes. I would love to have some of the smaller high schools come into our high school and add students and add opportunity and add, you know, all that stuff. I think it would be fantastic. But I know that that's not how everybody feels. So.
One of the summaries from the last go round, which was agonizing and took forever, was the question that was never asked was, is it going to cure the cost problem, or is it going to slow the curve? And nobody's ever discussed slowing the curve much.
Yeah.
But I suspect this next go round will probably have some impact
Yeah.
on slowing the curve. Because some of the really major, huge cost drivers like healthcare and things like that, you guys have absolutely no control
Correct.
over that, and that's a state-wide negotiating part of contracts, and that's probably been the biggest driver of inflation, I would assume, in the last couple of years of the budget itself.
Absolutely. I mean, when healthcare goes up 7.4% and our budget only goes up 2.8.
I just wanted to add, when you're talking about the surplus and how the 800,000 will go to help do some deferred maintenance, that's not a bad thing, and as a matter of fact, it's a good thing that I would want people to understand a little
Yeah.
more, that when that happens, yes, we have the risk that when we buy down the budget, that it's going to hit us. One of the things you're protecting yourself is you're buffering yourself by doing some deferred maintenance
Yeah.
that wouldn't have gotten done anyway, so you are getting some use out of that money, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Any other questions? All right, is it back to you, Tom? Do you got to finish it out? I'll let you talk into the big one.
So the next part of the meeting is actually, we adjourn to March 3rd to to vote on the school budget. Just keep in mind, I think this was referenced at Article 7, the surplus of 800,000. That's a separate line item on the budget thing. I think in years past, sometimes we pass that and didn't get the school budget on the second go-around, but it's treated as a separate item. Article 8 is the total amounts here that are going to be voted on. One is for $32,509,789, which is the amount the school board has determined to be necessary for the ensuing fiscal year. And this is a per pupil spending of $11,967.71, which is 3.48 higher per pupil spending for the current year. And then there'll also be elections for school directors. How short are we, by the way?
That's a good question. I believe there's a write-in. What's his Hertzberg, okay. Okay, from West, so right now we have no West Haven representation.
Okay.
3 empty, but somebody's trying to do a write-in. Scott Hertzberg is doing that. Good, Sue, remember that, so we know when we go back to Castleton. And then we have nobody running for the Orwell seat with John leaving, and we have nobody running for the Hubbardton seat with Christina leaving. So at this point, we would be 1, 2, 3, 4 short. Yep, 4 short of a full board. What?
5.
Maybe 5, yeah, depending on how it goes, but hopefully he'll come and get appointed. But yes, thank you for asking, we are a little short.
Okay. Do we have any questions that were online? None? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
See you March 3rd.
Thanks, Tom.